Many people will travel this holiday season, but when you're living with diabetes, moving from place to place can get a little complicated. Dr. Hira Shakil is from GBMC, and she has some tips to make being on the go a little easier. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me here.
So what are some of the travel suggestions that you have for people who have diabetes and they want to take these trips over the holidays?
Yeah, so I think the first and foremost thing they should do is meet with their endocrinologist or their primary care physician, whoever is managing their diabetes, because they really need, first of all, a doctor's note that says what is the type of diabetes that they're having. And the other thing is they need to use that, that meeting to actually set an action plan in case they have a diabetic emergency.
Okay, so there's two steps here. One, I want to talk about the note, and I also want to talk about the product. So let's talk about the note. Why should they have the doctor's note with them?
So sometimes, let's say if you run out of your medications and you're in a different country, you need to have them see doctor's note that you have diabetes and you need those medications, and also helps in the TSA screening when you have a doctor's note. It's easier and faster.
Okay, and then what sort of products do you need when you are traveling when you have diabetes?
So you need to have your glucometer, your needles, your lancets, your injectables, your pills, and extra sets of everything, I would say. Even the batteries of glucometer, because sometimes you just run out of the batteries and you can't test for your glucose.
So it really is just forward thinking about everything that you need or could need if you run out of something.
Yeah.
This sounds like a lot of equipment, a lot of products, and some things that I'm worried that maybe you won't be able to get into, like get through TSA screening with. How do you get through screening with all of this?
So there's an optional TSA notification card that you can actually fill beforehand that says that I suffer from this medical condition, and they just let you go through faster and smoother. They're gonna hand inspect you. Sometimes you don't even have to go through the X-ray or body scanners if you're wearing an insulin pump. You can ask them to hand inspect you, and they will allow you to take all your gel packs with the insulin, all your needles, which are normally not allowed.
Right, because if you're traveling, normally you can't have more than what I think is 3.4 ounce liquids.
Yeah.
There's an exception for this.
Exactly. Diabetics are actually exempted from that liquid rule, so you can carry your orange juice or whatever you need for in case you have hypoglycemia.
Right.
The other important thing I would tell all the diabetics is do not store your insulin in your checked-in luggage. Have everything in your carry-on, because you don't know when is the emergency and when do you need that. So you need to have your glucose tablets, your glucagon, your insulins, your snacks like fruits, nuts, everything with you for immediate access.
Right, because if it gets lost, you're in trouble. You need to have that handy. Okay, so how do you regulate mealtime and insulin management when you are traveling, I guess time zones, or you're traveling internationally? I can't even keep it straight myself, much less have something to manage.
Yeah, right. So mealtime is not it's not a problem, because you're only going to give yourself when you have a meal. So even on the plane or when you're somewhere else, you're only going to inject when you have have food in your belly. Right. So it's the basal insulin that you're concerned about, because it's like usually people are either on once a day, which you can do still, or on a 12-hourly pattern. So if you give yourself at 8 a.m. and then you take a long leg, let's say 16-hour flight, you don't know when to inject yourself. So I normally tell people to keep a watch set to USA time, because when you change zones, your smartphones are automatically going to be updated to that time zone. So you need to have a watch that's set to USA time, and you can take at 8 p.m. if you're supposed to take it, then you can just take it based on that. Or you can set alarms on your phone.
So this is one of those cases when going old school is actually better. Just have your little wind-up watch and have it handy, because then you don't have to think about it.
True.
This is a lot of great information, and I know that some of our viewers might watch and have more questions for you. They can always reach out to the number on the screen. They can call the number on the screen. Otherwise, go to gbmc.org and check out some of these tips that people have. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. And we'll be right back with more Midday Maryland right after this. Stay tuned.